like I said, I'm on a little Gen Z kick. You know, I'm a part of this generation. I want to see what the other people in my age bracket think. See if they think stupid thoughts or smart thoughts. We try to be pretty based over here. Well, except for Florida. All right, well, we'll get into that. Let's give this video a watch. Let's give this video a little watch.
What do you think are the biggest American problems?
Systemic racism.
Obesity.
I believe Americans export their problems.
Right off the bat, the biggest American problem, somebody said it's systemic racism. In my opinion, that's not a problem at all. I don't even think America's racist compared to what it was 50 years ago. The biggest problem, in my opinion, is probably the education system. It's probably the education system, bro. The education system is so fucked. There's a lot of problems. Obesity is definitely one of them. The food that we eat too in America is pretty fucked. But the education system is probably one of the worst ones, in my opinion. Because you're kind of not fucking over... You're kind of fucking over yourself. Because you're raising all these people to be really stupid. And when they eventually go to take over the country, we have stupid people running the country. So, you know... That's just kind of how it works.
The system is a big problem.
Do you think the American dream is still alive?
Not sure.
It has to be a joke, right?
This is the biggest lie ever. The American dream is dying.
So today I'm out here and the question I'll be asking
I don't think there is an American dream anymore. I think there's just opportunity. If you have an internet connection, bro, you have no excuse to not make money on the internet. That's just my opinion. Because 90% of all of the human knowledge, 90%, think about it. 90% of all known human knowledge is on the internet, bro. You can learn about anything. Anything, bro. You don't have to be in America. There's no American dream unless you're in like a country where you're like where you're what's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of? I don't know the word. I can't think of the word. But basically, if you live in a country like China or North Korea, for sure, like, you're fucked. But, you know, if you live in Europe, you live in the United States, if you live in certain parts of Mexico, you live in Canada, you live in a first world country along those lines, you know, Japan, South Korea, maybe Russia. I mean, you can get away with Russia. You know, you can, as long as you have an internet connection, I feel like you can make money. You can, there's the dream. The dream is still there.
Do you like America?
I wouldn't holistically say that I love the US, but there are plenty of great people.
It's a messed up country, but they have good pillars in the way of their thinking and what they believe in.
Yeah, America's cool. About everything I'm experiencing now, America is very uncool.
America used to be a leader as a country. I don't think we're reaching our potential, and I think the divisiveness in this country is going to lead to many issues if it's not addressed.
I've been there in West Virginia. That's where I was born. It's a little bit weird for a black person like me. West Virginia, it's a little bit racist, but...
I lived in the States for like 7 years of my life. I met some great people. It's just the violence that I don't like about the States.
Government, no, but country and people itself, I don't have a problem.
Like what?
America is very dumb. I would, I mean, that's like a very broad statement. We got over 100 genders here in America. Yeah, but that's a very small, very vocal minority. Most of people don't really care / believe, or they don't really care about that kind of stuff. I'm a proud Floridian. Well, it's the people that are running. Chat, I'm here now. What did I miss? You missed like 3 videos, Ash. That's really all you missed. Right now we're watching a video. Why is Gen Z being taught to hate America? Because, you know, for the past couple streams, you know, I've been on a little Gen Z kick. Because, you know, we're Gen Z and I want to see why we're so stupid. That's why I hate America, because of gender. What the hell?
What about like the politics that you don't like about it?
Invading
And in the world we live in today, I would rather be franked by Americans than another superpower.
Sure, it has its problems politically, but as like a place, most people, the vast majority of the general public is fine.
Recently, there's been a poll in America where they said that only 16% of Gen Z are proud to be American. Why do you think this is?
Inability to afford an apartment.
I would say, I mean, I can't really like say. You can only take my word for with a grain of salt, because I've actually never even left the United States, but I understand what's out there because of the glory of the internet. Once again, the internet comes in. You can see what's out there. You can see what the rest of the world is like, and I have a very strong appreciation for the United States. I mean, it is the best country in the world. You know, there's a lot of shit. I mean, every country has problems for sure. But you definitely have more rights here than anywhere on the planet. So, you know, I would rather have my rights than be. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want to visit other countries because I definitely do, but I wouldn't say I hate America. I don't hate America at all. Not at all. Not even. There's obviously we have problems that need to be fixed, but do I hate the country that I was born in, that I live in? No, not really. Not really. It's kind of, you know, I actually feel blessed that I was born here, bro. Because some of these motherfuckers that spawn in the simulation chat, some of the motherfuckers that spawn in the simulation get spawned in the Middle East. Okay, they spawn in, coming out of the womb. Guess what? 3 seconds later, boom, bomb, pew pew pew, get bombed. ISIS. Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. Gets bombed. Pew 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 pew. Like, nah, bro. Do you really want to spawn in a war-torn country, or would you rather spawn in the United States? I'd rather spawn in the United States. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. Or would you rather spawn in Mexico, in a bad part of Mexico, and then the cartel raid your town and you get kidnapped? Best country in the world, my ass. Says the one who lives in Canada. You know what, Japan? Come to my house, see what happens. We got guns here in America. We got guns. I'd rather spawn in a war country. Oh, you're just retarded.
Student loan. There's so many reasons that they talk. They're kids. What the f do they know?
The American dream is dying. No one is believing it anymore.
The Gen Z generation is, in a way, in a unique spot. You have, I think, a lot more extreme opinions because it's very easy to manipulate opinions and kind of push your agenda.
Because today we have an abundance of information and a lack.
Guns are the problem? All right, Japan. We'll see about that when China and Russia start invading Canada and when they start invading the United States. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. We'll see what country comes out on top of that one, Japan. Yeah, we may have some shootings, here and there, you know what I'm saying? But overall, when the Third World War starts, we'll see who comes out on top.
Lack of nuance where we oversimplify the good and exaggerate the bad.
America was never great.
Gen Z represents that paradox. Open to diverse viewpoints and compromise in older Americans, yet at the same time, closed-minded in many ways.
I just kind of close myself off and I stay friends with the people that respect my views.
But if this promised American dream...
See, that's also like, I keep pausing the video and I apologize. We'll let it run after this. I feel like people nowadays don't have people in their lives or friends in their lives that they will disagree with. For example, you should have friends in your inner circle that you have disagreements with. But just because you disagree with them, that doesn't mean you can't be friends with them. It's so stupid. Monica, what's your opinion on John Kramer? Oh, shit. John Kramer? John Kramer? Chat, do you guys know who the legendary John Kramer is? John Kramer solos Thanos, solos Goku, solos One Punch Man, solos Batman, solos Spider-Man. John Kramer is... Listen, chat. We watched a video on how strong Garu is. Nah. John Kramer solos the entire fiction verse, bro. It's true. Let's get back to the video, though.
Game is slowly fading. Can we really blame Gen Z for their activism and resentment? And if there's no more trust, is America heading towards collapse? I guess we gon' see. What do you think are the biggest American problems?
Obesity. Populism around politics is a giant problem. I think the educational system is a big problem.
Systemic racism.
You know what also is a really big problem that I forgot to mention that most of you guys won't understand because you're probably 12 years old is lobbying, bro. Lobbyist. That's a really big problem, bro. It's a really big problem. That, the education system are two of the really biggest problems in my opinion. Because with lobbying, basically the government doesn't run the country, bro. It's the corporations, it's the businesses that run the country, all right? Me and Kagura disagree on so much stuff, but we make each other laugh, so we homies. For real, Japan's my homie, bro. Japan's literally my homie. Inflation is also a problem. Yeah, but inflation's gonna come around, it's gonna go away, it'll come around. That's just how things work. Laziness is a big problem. I feel like laziness is a big problem more in our generation, Noah. It's not really in like past generations. I wouldn't really say it's laziness. I feel more like it's discipline and a lack of goals in life. You know what I'm saying?
In our country.
Racism and sexism.
Legislation harming LGBTQ communities, trans individuals.
I would say police brutality and, of course, racism.
If I had to challenge you, though, why do you think there's still more people moving to America than people leaving America?
Opportunities. They want a better life for their children. They want part of the American.
Better life, better opportunities, more rights. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I agree. Do you know another problem? ChatGPT. Okay.
The American dream is obviously very much still alive.
Are you proud to be American?
I'm proud to be this American person.
How do you help the community?
Oh my God. I have protested everything. Guns and all the bills that they try to pass.
Drugs and vapes in school and stuff and people dying. Yeah, but you know, that's just a thing that happens, bro. Like, that's just a thing that happens. Like, if you go back to the 50s, bro, kids in high school and middle school, whatever school, you know, they bring cigarettes to school. Like that, they drink beer on school. Like, that's a normal kids thing, bro. That's not really anything new. It's been happening for ages. Nothing really, that's not really new. That's not really the biggest threat. I would say, you know, children are more, their attention spans are shorter, so they don't really pay attention to class, i.e. dumber children. Sweden has the best everything. It has the happiest people. It's a fact. That is true. That is true. That is true. That is a fact. Kids been doing drugs no matter. Exactly. No, exactly. That makes perfect sense.
Move rights from trans kids.
I believe Americans export their problems. Today you see it, that gender identity that is becoming a social issue. Export that.
People commonly say that America's biggest export is culture, but it's also their issues as well, it seems like.
You're damn right.
So what do you think are like the biggest problems in America?
Probably just like big corporations running everything.
She's preaching. Big corporations, bro. Lobbying. It's really, really bad, bro. This needs to be illegal ASAP. Otherwise, the United States is going to become a dying nation if it already isn't.
Definitely think that capitalism and corporate greed and big businesses and institutions taking a lack of action to support our communities and the top 1%. Yeah, I'm a tax the rich, eat the rich girly, so.
Okay, well, that's interesting that you brought up big businesses because I'm curious. Which of the following companies has had a massive customer data leak? So Facebook, MasterCard, Twitch, or Comcast?
Facebook.
For sure, MasterCard.
What if I told you that it's actually all 4 of these different companies?
I would believe that.
I don't even know what he said.
How
What
does
did he
that
say?
make you feel?
They got hacked?
Horrified.
A little nervous.
Have you gotten a text like this before?
All the time. Scammers, right?
There are like 5 companies in America that own everything. This is true. This is true. There's a very small select group of companies that own most of other companies in the United States. They own everything like food, drinks, hotels, and everything in between. Exactly. That is true. That is true. That is 100% true. And if you don't sell to them, and if you don't allow them to buy you out, then they're gonna make you go bankrupt, and they're gonna make sure you don't succeed.
Right?
Yeah, so that's exactly right. Is that whenever a company gets hacked, data brokers get access to a lot of data, and they sell it to these scammers. So that's why we're always bombarded with a lot of these like.
Juicer just called you mid. That's why he probably has like 3 viewers in his live stream, and I got 20 right now.
Scam texts and phishing attempts. Have you heard of Guardio?
I have not.
Okay, so Guardio is like a browser extension and mobile app that protects.
Okay. He's doing an ad. Let's fast forward through the ad. That's cool though. He's hella smart for implementing the ad into the video with what people are talking about. That's pretty smart though.
Or institutions, the foundations of trust is broken. And not just that, there also seems to be less participation. The US military, known for being the world's most powerful, is in crisis, with 2022 being the worst year for recruitment since 1973.
The US military is struggling to recruit those from Gen Z.
The younger generation doesn't care because we all hate the military, we hate America.
Many blame woke culture, like mandatory diversity and inclusion classes, and a perceived lack of focus on.
See, okay, now this is one thing I feel like this goes to the education system. And I don't know, I'm not, maybe Gen Z isn't learning this in school. Maybe they're learning it on social media. But I feel like a lot of my generation, quote unquote, hates the America because all they do is research and or learn about the bad things America have done and none of the good things that America do. There's a yin and yang, bro. There's nobody's perfect. Okay, the United States isn't heaven on earth, bro. We've made some mistakes, and some of them, are pretty bad. Some are pretty bad, but there's also good. So you gotta. It's like there's silver linings to everything. Monica, I need you to pay attention to what I'm about to say.
Combat readiness. But some may attribute it to an overall loss of respect for the country as seen by many influential figures, including professional athletes.
Colin Kaepernick, what a game!
Colin Kaepernick, former 49ers quarterback and now civil rights activist, has consistently spoken out against racial injustice in America.
There's a lot of things that need to change.
In 2016, his refusal to stand for the national anthem in response to rising cases of police brutality raised national attention and debate. But Kaepernick wasn't alone. Over the years, he's had plenty of support from various athletes, including Brittany Griner. The WNBA player also refused to sing the national anthem, stating that it didn't represent Black Americans. Griner claimed that she didn't mean any disrespect towards the United States, but in early 2022, she was forced to put aside her differences and ask for help. She was arrested at a Russian airport for possession of marijuana and detained for
She's so stupid, bro. She is so stupid. How are you going to go to a foreign country, a country that doesn't even like the United States to begin with? How do you go there with drugs, bro? Are you like that stupid? She is stupid.
Months.
Pled guilty to my charges. I understand everything that's being
Griner is a dude? I've heard about this. I don't know if this is true. I've heard about
Wanted to ask the streets on how this all happened. Is it racist to have national pride?
As a German born and grown up in Germany, national pride wasn't something that we were given with a lot because of our history. I don't think it's racist to have national pride.
That makes sense.
I think it's a good thing in a lot of ways. If it starts infringing on the freedom and the ability of other people to live in comfort, I think it gets problematic for sure.
Everyone is going to say they love their country, but maybe the way they're showing it would be different from
you know, you can love your country. You can love your country, but don't bash and put down other countries. You can have pride in your own country, but the moment you start saying, "Oh, my country is better than yours," you know, you can't be doing that. You can have pride in your country, that's cool. But the moment you say one country is better than another, then that's where fighting starts to begin.
Good to have pride about who you are, sure, but let it be based on your accomplishments, how good you've been to other people.
Although those two things might overlap and impact each other, I don't think that's a binary.
But is America the only country that's struggling with galvanizing national?
Kaga, you can't say this because you say Canada sucks 24/7. Japan, you clearly know I'm joking, though. Let's be real here. You clearly know this is a joke. Pride is a deadly sin? Noah's spitting right now? Bible verses?
National pride. Because for Russia, the key was religion. In the 1990s, Orthodox Christianity was uncommon as only a third of Russians identified with the religion. But now, 72% of Russians are Orthodox, which was largely influenced by campaigns that targeted the youth. Similarly, in 2005, the Kremlin started pro-government youth organizations in an attempt to instill national pride, as Putin recognized as the key in maintaining his political power.
Analysts say he's used the Russian Orthodox Church to promote a so-called pivot to traditional values.
But it wasn't just the leader in Russia that was thinking this way. For years, national pride has been an important
Yeah, you guys
asset.
want to talk about, Dragon said, hypnotizing? You want to talk about hypnotizing? It's not really Russia, bro. It's China, bro. I mean, it's not like they're hypnotizing, but because at the end of the day, you do have free will. But in China, you better not act out on that free will, because if you do, you might get put in the slammer there, buddy.
President Xi Jinping's party, even in spite of criticisms from Chinese journalists. In 2019, a Chinese app that roughly translates to "study from Xi, build a powerful country" was launched. It pushed pro-Chinese messages.
Wow, what a crazy app name. That's like saying, let's build a strong country, power to Donald Trump. Imagine we had an app like that. Nobody, no, he'd get clowned on, bro. He would get clowned on instantly.
Provided a one-stop shop for news about Xi's political doctrine. To encourage activity, it provided incentives. Chinese citizens could earn points for their social credit score based on their app usage time and participation in quizzes about the Chinese Communist Party. And when journalists Feng Feng and Chu Ziming both criticized this indoctrination, they were swiftly jailed as traitors. And in a country like America, where freedom of speech supposedly...
Yeah, see, bro, you want to, okay, so when Donald Trump was president, right? When Donald Trump was president, you could not avoid the shit talk of Donald Trump. You couldn't avoid it. Everywhere you look, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump racist, Donald Trump sexist, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. You did that in China, buddy. Yeah. Going to the slammer. You're going to the slammer, buddy, and not just, serving a couple months, buddy. You, serving a couple years. And maybe even make you go kaput. So, be happy you can call Donald Trump a sexist. You know what I'm saying? You should be happy you can do that. Because now you can't do that everywhere. You can't.
Exists, what would foreigners and Americans that hate America say? What do you think are the biggest American stereotypes?
I think ignorance is a big American stereotype.
Americans not being able to pinpoint exact countries. That's always a funny thing.
All right. Let's name a couple countries. I did this last stream. Obviously, United States. We got Canada. You know what I'm saying? We got Brazil. We got Chile. We got Mexico. We got Puerto Rico. Even though Puerto Rico is kind of like a United States territory, we got Cuba down here as well. We got Australia. We got the Philippines. We got China. We got Japan. We got South Korea. We also got North Korea too. We got Russia. We got. I'm not even gonna try to pretend. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not even gonna pretend like I know the countries in Africa because I really don't. I know Niger. That's really about it. We got Egypt. We got Saudi Arabia. We got Italy, UK, Spain. We got a couple more. We got a couple more European countries. Finland. Stuff like that. Poland up here. That's cool and all. We got Mongolia. We got India. We got Pakistan. You know what I'm saying? The Caribbean. I don't think the Caribbean is a country. Oh yeah, I forgot to say Australia too. Australia's huge. I said Australia. You know what I'm saying? Antarctica, but that's actually a continent. See, I can name off a couple countries, and I'm Gen Z. Finland or Vinland. Yeah, see? I don't know why my generation's so stupid.
Because I'm it has to be a joke, right?
Fast food is one of the biggest. The ego is high. So fast food and arrogance.
Yeah.
That they're stupid, that they're fat f***s, that their food is disgusting.
With size, of course.
I guess that there's a lot of fat people.
Do you think Americans are spoiled?
I feel like Americans have power. Everywhere they are, you can sense the presence of, oh, they are American. Americans have authority.
I'm not spoiled. Do I think billionaires are spoiled? Yeah.
I personally know so many people who have an extremely limited worldview being from America. Our education system struggles with educating American citizens
She talk about the education system.
Westernization, capitalism, and all of those things are the right thing.
Which brings up a question. Are the issues that we face minor in the grand scheme of things? Because while all problems are subjective, do these America-specific issues suggest that these are good problems to have compared to most countries? In 2020, after the death of Floyd, over 90 Confederate monuments were removed, with the final one taken down in Richmond, Virginia. But if events from 3 years prior are any indication, not everyone is happy.
I do agree. Okay, I do somewhat agree. I remember when all the riots were happening. I remember they were taking down statues of George Washington because he owned slaves. First off, George Washington. He's the first president. Don't take him down, all right? I understand he owned a couple of slaves, but that was kind of the thing back in the day. That's like owning an iPhone, bro. You own an iPhone, don't you? Yeah, well, guess what? Back in the day, that's the equivalent, all right? Now, if you're taking down statues of Confederate leaders, I completely understand. That's like Germany still having statues of, I'm not going to say his name, but it starts with an H. You know what I'm saying? I understand it's part of our history. I understand that. Maybe put it in a museum, but don't have, a Confederate leader out in the open as a statue, bro, worshiping him. George Washington, though, you got to leave him alone, bro. That's our first president. He's our papa. You know what I'm saying?
Happy with change. In 2017,
people are too sensitive now. Yeah, I completely agree.
Supremacists and neo-Nazi groups gathered in Charlottesville, Virginia to protest the removal of a statue honoring Confederate general and slaveholder Robert E.
Now this makes sense. You didn't have to say slaveholder. You could have just said Confederate general. Because back in the day, bro, it was a thing. It was a thing. I'm pretty sure Abraham Lincoln even had some of those. Even had some people. You know what I'm saying? But it was normal. It was like the thing, bro. It was the thing. You just did it. Confederate, like he's a Confederate leader, bro. I understand. You know, you should take his thing down. Like I said, it's like Germany having statues of the Fuhrer still around. You know, it just ain't right.
And as racist slogans were chanted, things got out of hand quickly after 32-year-old Heather Heyer, a counter-protester, was ran over and killed. And so it's clear that while one group seeks to preserve their ideas from the past, another is looking to rectify what they see as past mistakes. And no group is leading that resistance more than Gen Z. But can scrutinizing every aspect of life lead to more problems or solutions? I feel like Gen Z has had more opportunities and information than a lot of generations. Do you think this has made you guys more open-minded or closed-minded?
Closed-minded. I would say my generation, or at least the vocal minority of my generation, is more closed-minded. Because every single one of my friends, most of my close friends, ironically have about the same opinions as I do, and that's not because like we purposely talk about stuff like this. We don't really talk about this stuff. We're like, oh, you agree with me? Oh, let's be friends. Like, no, that's not how that works. We become friends, and then we figure out that we're more alike than not. Okay. But I would say the vocal minority is very closed-minded. The bro in the wheelchair is a Chad? For real? Literally?
Creates the illusion of being informed. There is so much content out there. Even all what I've been saying is basically based on contents that I've been consuming, but who the hell knows if it's true?
They're closed-minded.
Okay, listen. It goes like this. Gen Z sees something crazy on TikTok. Oh my god, police brutality. What the heck? Oh my god, this police officer is doing something to this guy. In reality, they just saw the clip. They don't do any further research. When in reality, that guy that the police officer is beaten up. I'm not talking about any specific. I'm not talking about any specific scenario. This is a made up scenario, right? This is just a made up scenario. My generation goes through TikTok. Boom. See something bad on TikTok. Police officer beating up this guy. In reality, boom. The person on TikTok didn't do more research. In reality, the guy that the police officer was beating up shot somebody. Okay? They did that. Okay? But since my generation didn't do their due diligence, didn't do their research, they're protesting, telling them, "Oh no, police brutality." When in reality, the police officer was the good guy. That's just an example. That's just an extreme example. That doesn't have to be for that specific example. It could be for anything. You should do your due diligence. You should do your research before being outraged. And for me personally, Stoicism has really helped me with that. You should always keep a level head. You can have these emotions that come out, like anger, like when things first happen and you get angry or something along those lines. You have every right to do that because you're a human and that's just how emotions work. But you have to maintain and control them, and then after that, think with a level head. You know what I'm saying? Use rationale. What's the generation after Z? I don't think there is one yet. I don't know. Look it up. Click.
To anything that's a little different.
Do you think Gen Z is not able to take into account how good we have it at the same time?
Many of us were extremely little when...
Alpha is after Z, I think? I want to be Generation Alpha. Shit. Do I not look like an alpha? Nah, I'm just kidding. I won't flex. Unless you guys want me to. Unless you guys want me to, of course.
11 happened, the 2008 recession, 2016 election occurred, and overlapping all of that, we've had an extreme mental health crisis and then have been facing climate change issues. Gen Z has had it extremely hard, despite...
I apologize for keep pausing, but we do have a mental health crisis. Especially, you do not look like an alpha. Whatever, I know I am. As I was saying, though, I would say, yeah, we have a mental health crisis, and that is true. I feel like mental health is on the rise, especially in my generation. But I've said this many times before. Ace has more to... Wow, that's crazy. Wow, that's crazy. Ace doesn't got these, though. Wait. Where are the lats? Ace doesn't got lats. I'd show the... Is the back going crazy? Do I got the demon back yet, Noah? I can't really tell because I have the tank top on. Do I got the demon back yet? Noah, do I got the demon back? Show them quads? I'm in joggers right now. It ain't happening. Can I talk about my mental health thing before you guys cook me? Okay. I'm done. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Too tired from flexing. You got the Demon Slayer back? Let's go.
Those privileges.
If I had to challenge that though, don't you think though Gen Z sometimes maybe masquerades closed-mindedness as open-mindedness?
The 1960s, when there were older generations who said you're far, far, far too radical. And we have a much fairer society because the vision of the younger generation won.
What if we start seeing race, gender, in problems and everything? Do you think that could also make it so a lot of problems become exacerbated, or we view it that way, even if it's not there?
To call that out is not to be divisive. It is to call out the division in someone's mind when all that is whitewash.
But like the thing is that my generation doesn't complain about enough is like, you know, obviously we have problems like racism and stuff like that, and that is for sure a problem. But as of right now, the United States, as of now in this year, you know, is the least racist it's ever been in the history of the United States, and that's just a fact. You know, that's a big problem. You know, police brutality is also a massive problem, for sure. You know, and we should complain about these kind of things. But what we don't hear about, which in my opinion is a much bigger problem, is, like I said earlier, is lobbying in the education system. The two of the biggest problems I don't know about the two biggest problems, but two of, you know, some of the biggest problems. Because that could lead to the destruction of the country, okay? You know, police brutality can lead to the destruction of some people's lives, and that's very sad and unfortunate. And we definitely need to keep crying and complaining about that, especially for the cops that are bad. You know, we shouldn't complain about cops that are good, or all cops. We should complain about only bad cops. But lobbying and a failed education system can lead to the destruction of not just, you know, a couple people's lives, but the entire country as a whole. And I don't think anybody wants that.
Ignoring and marginalizing and erasing history and present injustice.
But is it realistic to think that
look at the shoulders, bro? Jesus.
And are we moving closer towards a more unified society?
Noah, do you want to feel? You want to feel, Noah?
In 2045, the United States is projected to reach the majority-minority milestone, where white Americans, who are currently the majority ethnic group, will become a minority. On the one hand, it represents an ongoing
I'm a minority? Yes. Do I get some sort of pass now? Now that I'm a minority? Is that how that works?
Demographic shift and a step towards a true melting pot that's a unique strength of the US. But on the other hand, if recent events are any indication, could it potentially lead to more racial tensions and division? And it may not just be the US, because in less than 40 years, the UK is on pace to become the most ethnically diverse country in the Western world. And with Greece, Spain, and Singapore facing similar trends, it raises the question, will this diversity help unify us or divide us? Do you think diversity has any impact when it comes to national cohesion?
Basically, you're destabilizing a society. We've seen it through history. I mean, Rome, seen too many people coming in from different places, and maybe that's one of the factors that empires fell.
Diversity binds us together. It's not a melting pot.
Diversity is what strengthens us. We sent our kids to the local public school across the street, where they went to school with kids that got free lunch, free breakfast. We did not have them tested for the gifted program so they could be in school with white people. I'm talking about everyone who had your kids tested so they didn't have to go to school with poor kids and Puerto Rican kids and black kids. Yeah, that's a real sore spot for me.
Because ultimately, it may not be about the individual differences that matter, but more so hating a similar thing together. Sebastian Junger wrote the best-selling novel Tribe, delving into topics on tragedy, community, and
best-selling. You know what is considered a best-selling novel, chat? Because every single time I go to I see a book, New York Times bestseller. What does that even mean? Does that mean if I write a book, can it be a New York Times bestseller? Does it have to sell one copy? How do you qualify for a bestseller? Because every single book I've ever seen in my life, New York Times bestseller, 5 awards have been won from this one book. What does that even mean? How come every single book is a New York Times bestseller? What the hell? I don't understand.
belonging. From what society can learn from early tribes to how war and catastrophes like 9/11 can bring people closer together, it seems like 1, we are designed to find community, and 2, form and strengthen these communities during hardship. But why? He found that when tragedy strikes, a traumatized society would unite for support, which led to lower levels of crime and depression. And it's consistent throughout the world. Israel, a country in ongoing geopolitical conflict, has long required 2 years of military service for both men and women. And despite the hardships of war, Israelis report a stronger sense of belonging, and only 1% of their military experience PTSD compared to 20% of the American military. Though critics argue this book glorifies war and tragedy, it's clear that life-threatening situations and a shared tragedy are powerful forces that unite people.
I think that's like a human biological thing because, you know, for thousands and thousands of years, you know, we were in tribes and we had to work together to survive. You know, we had to go hunt for food. We had to go pick berries. We had to make clothes all together to work together to survive. And now we don't really do that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's more of like a genetic, human ingrained thing that we're kind of going against our own genetic and DNA. It's not what we're going against it. It's just, you know, the flow of humanity. We're just progressing as a race, as a species. But, you know, it is true what he said, you know, when countries are in conflict and stuff like that, we band together, you know, we're more friendly to one another. That is true.
Regardless of their backgrounds. But when over 1 in 10 Americans report having no friends, and that research shows that you...
All right. If you got no friends, 1 in 10 Americans, if you got no friends, bro, that's, I'm sorry. I'm saying it's a skill issue. It's a skill issue. If you got no friends, chat, you guys are my friends, right? You guys are my friends, right? You guys are my friends, right? Right? You guys are all my friends? Ooh, woo! Oh, neat, chat! I'm sorry. No friends? Yes? Fastest man said, I don't know. Ash, I thought we were besties. I'm your friend? Yes, let's go. I got Ace is my boy, bro. Ace is my boy. I do have friends. Stop. Oh, neat, chat. Hada hada. Was that pretty good? Is that pretty? You're not my friend anymore after that? Come on, bro. Y'all are lame. But we are friends though? Thanks, guys.
Can literally die younger without these good friends. America is facing a loneliness epidemic.
Your existence is cringe. I'm your friend, Kage. Thanks, Split. But we friend. Thanks,
so
guys.
How has this
real
lack
ones
of
in the chat.
community
Let's go.
impacted modern day America?
How do you think America has changed over the last few decades? People have kind of zeroed in on those extremely strong opinions and kind of built that us versus them mentality in a lot of ways.
Rich people, the 1%, they take through other 99% and
L.
create
Ashley, Dub
what
Noah,
comes with it,
Dub
social
Noah, let's go.
tensions, poverty, all the problems that come with it.
Do you think America is the greatest country in the world?
I couldn't say that. No, I don't think so.
Do you think the American dream is still alive?
You can make your dreams everywhere you be. It doesn't have to be in America.
I do think that that's a little bit more maybe complicated than it used to be because of the access to wealth and resources that you might need. But at the same time, I think there's still a lot of opportunities.
The American, that's the best marketing. This is the biggest lie ever. It's alive in the mind of people, but it's an illusion.
And so it's clear that America, like any other country, isn't without its flaws. And in an era of infinite access to information and growing polarization, trust in our institutions and one another is rapidly declining. And when the reasons for its failures can no longer be concealed like they once were, the idealized image of America is slowly fading for many and unveiling its true reality. But just as Gen Z has challenged the status quo with its supposed open-mindedness, they also need to put their money where their mouth is and recognize the abundant opportunities, freedom, and privilege that living in America provides, which many around the world will still die for. Do you trust America? Are you bullish on America's future?
Oh, I don't know if I trust America. I don't know. You can't really trust the government. I mean, you know, especially the past couple of years, you know, I mean, the government, you should never trust your government, bro. Always be skeptical. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like the future will be good. Honestly, I feel like the right people will step up and everything will be fine.
Will you step up?
Yeah, to be a good person, because in America, what makes it so good are good people.
Because change isn't achieved by...
I'm going to say here and now. Vote Monokage President 2030. You have to be 35, so 20, 24, 28, 2032. Okay, 2036. Vote Monica Kage 2036, okay? I'm going to become the president of the United States. I'm going to fix the United States. We're going to become the best nation on earth. First rule of becoming a United States citizen. And for people that are already existing United States citizens, you must watch Vinland Saga. After completing Vinland Saga, the country will then become a heaven. It'll become Vinland in real life. Every single one of you will want peace and nothing more. Boom. Mic drop. That's how you fix America. I'm out of here. Stream's over.